This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of At the Heart of Business. I'm your host, Judith Tate. At the Heart of Business is a conversation with women in business discussing their challenges and successes. My first guest today is Jessica Fung, owner of Sushi and Doodle Co.
Thank you.
It's such a cute name. I'm like,
Thank
okay, I
you.
don't want
I
to screw this up.
appreciate
Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
It's such a pleasure to have you here. So we've been chatting for a while, and I remember inviting you to be on the show, and I just thought, this girl's pretty cool. I got to have her on the show and just to talk about that cool business name, Sushi and Doodle Co. I don't know why I can't say sushi. So tell us about your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sushi and Doodle Co. is a creative marketing agency that helps businesses tell their stories through creative and strategic writing that integrates seamlessly with their marketing strategy. So in short, we're basically a advertising business that helps businesses just amplify and impact their messages.
Okay. All right. That's great.
Thank you.
What got you started in this business?
Yeah, I think for me, I started my business actually to help the cannabis industry, especially around legalization in Canada. I saw this kind of growth of industry and businesses that were really kind of, beginning this new life, and I really wanted to see what I can do to help this industry grow, especially with cannabis businesses. They have a lot of federal regulations that don't allow them to advertise in any traditional sense. So I started my business basically honing in on digital marketing strategies and solutions for cannabis businesses to really connect with their audiences online.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why that industry specifically?
Yeah, so really it was an opportunity to learn about a new space,
Yeah.
to be completely honest. It was, a space that's very highly stigmatized. There's a lot of, unfortunately, negative press even about it. And I really saw that there was a positive side to it that wasn't really getting the attention that it deserved. And I really wanted to help this industry really refocus, realign its story, and just empower consumers even with information through marketing and targeted impact messaging. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And how exactly do you do that? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I basically work very, very intimately with the business owners and also even the consumers, really, to understand what they're trying to tell and what they're trying to say to their audience. Really creating that very, very strategic story and being able to tell it to people that really matter and care. So really finding who their ideal audience is and really creating that messaging that impacts them and connects with them. So it can mean anything. I really kind of put my business clients through a lot of different exercises and a lot of questions are asked. So it's great for me because I'm able to learn. I'm able to sort of, be on my toes and really sort of analyze and look deeper through these different layers and just be able to create that messaging strategy that works for them.
Okay. And why is that really important in business to create that specific message?
Yeah, absolutely. So fun fact, all businesses need words and language to really connect with their audience, right? Without words, you could just be a picture book. And even though a picture is worth 1,000 words, it doesn't mean it's always saying the right ones. And so my goal is basically to help businesses find the right words. And for me, I'm a strong believer that every business owner is an expert in their field, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a writer or even a communication strategist. So being able to simplify that language, being able to simplify their messaging, and being able to understand from their audience perspective is really important. Because a lot of the times when I work with business owners and specific industries, I'm not the expert in their space at all. I'm very much a consumer or just an average kind of passerby, and I'm always asking the questions that they wouldn't necessarily have top of mind because they're so in it. And so I'm able to sort of get them out of that island, off of that space where they're the expert, but okay, how does your expertise help the average person? How do we actually make sure we build that connection and build that bridge for your business and also for your customer, essentially?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's very interesting.
Yeah.
But I always try to make it interesting as well. So, yeah.
Okay. So basically you're doing copywriting for the business. So is this all messaging on their website, social media? Like where is this?
It can be anything, honestly. It could
Okay.
be on their website, it could be print media, it could be even a billboard advertising campaign. So it can literally be anything that requires words, right?
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And do you help people to identify who they're speaking to? Because I know your messaging, as you said, it has to be very, very specific and targeted.
Absolutely.
So do you find that people don't really know who they're?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it can be a challenge.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times I have business owners that want to talk to everyone. They
okay.
want to talk to everyone. They want to, reach a wider audience, which is fair. That's totally fine if it makes sense. But a lot of the times we have to kind of bring it back to basics. Okay, we're talking to too many people now. So how do we bring it back to the original, audience that we want to connect with, and actually build an authentic connection with them is really more impactful and powerful for any business, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And do people really understand that? Like, do you ever get any resistance?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. And I think one of the ways that I kind of bring it back to the strategy is, okay, this is the research that we found, right?
Yeah.
So for me, before I write anything or even design anything for my clients, I usually do all of the homework first. So understanding not just their audience, but also their competitive landscape. So understanding who's around them, who's actually doing something similar or kind of similar to what you're doing, and how do we kind of bandwagon off of what they're doing? How do we, we don't have to reinvent the wheel per se, but what are some things that they're doing that we can emulate for your business, and setting these standards for yourself, essentially. Yeah, so once we kind of present that data to the client, they kind of understand, okay, I understand the strategy now. So that's usually kind of helpful, being able to back what I'm doing with data and real results.
Oh, okay. I love it. So explain the power of storytelling.
Oh my goodness. The power of storytelling is literally everything.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what builds the authenticity, right? And the great thing about pretty much everything in life is that there's always going to be a story attached to it, and it's that emotional hook that really draws in that attention. Because anybody could be doing what you're doing, but what is it that makes it special for you? Why is it that anyone should care that you're the one doing it, and you're the reason why you're the one that's actually caring about their problems and providing a solution? So that's all kind of intertwined with storytelling. Being able to paint a picture, essentially, of the problem, and then what your solution is, and then why you're the best at it, essentially.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah, I love that you love it.
Yeah, because I'm really into like telling stories, and that's why I love doing the show, because I love to, really dive into your business and find out your why behind it. So, do you find that, is it difficult to draw stories out of people?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. The storytelling part is actually very easy.
Yeah.
Because I find that for every business owner especially, it's a very personal and intimate journey.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so they are very, very open to sharing why they're here, why they're doing what they're doing. But I think the disconnect usually happens, okay, this is why I'm doing it, but why should your audience care about your story, right? And so getting that story from them is usually one of the most rewarding experiences for me, because I get to learn so much about this person and what they're doing and why they're doing it.
Okay. So define copywriting and why it's so important for businesses to have someone do their copywriting for them.
Absolutely. So copywriting, I get this all the time. It gets confused with copyright all the time. But copywriting is basically strategic and creative writing with an intention and purpose to sell or encourage an action. So it's not just creative, it's actually very, very purposeful. There's a reason for why we chose the words that we did, because basically, like I said, it's backed by the research, by the data. This is why we have the language that we have. So it's developing that language for a business specifically. And with copywriting, because it's so intentional, it's trying to encourage an action. So it's basically, for any business or even any individual, it's a communication strategy. It's more than just words at this point. It's actually developing your language.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, great. I love it. What's the biggest challenge that you've ever had with your business?
The biggest challenge? Oh my goodness. I think for me, it's definitely being able to honestly, being able to tell my own story, actually.
Oh?
Yeah, I know. It sounds kind of crazy because I'm a storyteller. I help businesses tell their stories. But for me, I think it's being able to do that reflectively and internally for myself, I think.
Yeah.
But I also think it comes with its own challenges where being able to ask for help also has been kind of interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, there's this mindset of mine that I have to learn how to do everything on my own,
Yeah.
and releasing that control and being able to delegate things has been very interesting as well.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it's also great because it's very humbling to know that there are other people that do things that are better, that do things better than you do it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a very, very humbling and positive experience to be able to let go for a moment and just be able to connect with others.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And how have you been resourceful in building your business?
Yeah, I think the learning aspect definitely helps a lot. Being a lifelong learner has been really probably one of the most powerful things because, I'm constantly reading books on topics that I wouldn't otherwise think I needed because, you should know how to do certain things, but you really don't until you actually learn and read and really kind of digest content other ways. But yeah, and also learning how to talk to people and active listening and being able to understand that it's not just about you, it's about the other person. So those are kind of things that I've really honed in on, those interpersonal skills to really grow as a business owner.
Good. So you mentioned books.
Yes.
What's one book that changed your life and that you think every entrepreneur should read?
Oh my goodness. Highly recommend The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that book changed my life because it really forced me to, I guess, change my idea of what work is, if that makes sense. I'm saying it in quotes, but yeah, it really redefined hustle culture for me because I come from a background where, you always have to be working, you always have to be doing something, you always have to be on the next thing. Will you achieve one thing? Okay, what's the next thing? You're never taking a moment to really celebrate. And, there's this huge idea of, you have to create this monumental, massive change overnight. There's like this celebration a part of it. But for me, that book actually told me that baby steps, consistent baby steps are more impactful than those quantum leaps. And that has really kind of changed how I see work and how I see business and just life in general. That it's those small little boring steps that can get you to the finish line in a more successful way, really, and more fulfilling too.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm constantly rushing to do something. I'm actually enjoying the process and learning. So yeah, highly recommend that book. Yeah.
Great. Okay, what's one piece of advice you'd give to anyone starting out in business?
Oh my goodness, network.
Yay.
Network. I mean, I probably wouldn't have met you if I didn't network,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think for me, when I started my business, I didn't get this advice when I first started. I thought I had to do everything on my own. I have to figure everything out. And really, that was actually really a huge setback for me because I realized as I started networking, getting better at it, connecting with others and being able to talk with others has been really monumental because you never know what another person can do for you. So
yes,
highly recommend networking. Just get out there and talk.
I agree. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Oh, I'm glad. It was great to have you.
Thank you.
And stay tuned. We'll be up next with Jennifer Maxwell of On the Rack.
This is your captain speaking.
You have no idea where in the world you really are.
Wow.
No map, no plan, no clue. This is Destination X.
Well, this ought to be fun.
Oh, it's open.
Austria.
All you have to do to win is answer one simple question. Where the X am I?
Do you like movies? You do? What a coincidence, because I host a show called Cinema Scene, which features movie reviews and interviews. It's the big screen on the small screen with Cinema Scene.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to At the Heart of Business, a conversation with women in business discussing their challenges and successes. I'm your host, Judith Tate, and my next guest is Jennifer Maxwell, founder of On the Rack.
Yes, thank you. It's so happy to be here. It's exciting.
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell us about On the Rack. You were on the show a while ago for something else. This is a new business, and it's pretty exciting. I really like it.
Thank you. It is a new business. It actually, it's, excuse me, it is bras for, excuse me, slender bodies, bigger busts, and it's a real need in the market that I found was not being met. And so, like every entrepreneurial business starts, you have to find a solution to a problem that just isn't being found. So here we are.
Yeah. So what was the problem?
The catalyst. Okay, so many. I know if you have this same issue, anybody is watching this, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. You can never find a bra that fits.
Yeah.
And so I had nominated a friend of mine for an award, and she actually became a finalist, and she emailed me and said, please come. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have just the outfit. In fact, the one I'm wearing today. And I thought it would be easy to find a bra that would actually fit. And turns out nothing was fitting, and I was like, I'm not buying another bra. And so I went to my bucket of bras, because I have so many of them, including a strapless one that was brand new and like 20 years old.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it. And so I'm gonna fix it. So I pulled up my sewing machine, and I was sewing, and I was voice noting a friend. And I was like, why can we never find any bras off the rack? I have to go and get, you know, all these specialty custom, I just need to get something on the rack. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna start a bra company. Am I? And I thought, I think I have to. I feel like I'm morally obligated to go and fulfill this market, because there's nobody out there. When I scroll through and walk through the racks, there's nothing for the smaller frames and bigger busts. And so here we are on the rack.
On the rack. Okay, you have all these cool puns. So on the rack and uplifting, like name them all.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, you know, it's funny because prior to this, and I'm still doing inspirational keynotes, and I was like, how am I going to tie these two? They're so vastly different, you know, speaking in bras. And I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to keep uplifting. I thought, okay, so I'm going to lean hard into that. So we're uplifting, we're supporting women in business, everybody, but, you know, particularly women in business in this one.
Yeah.
There's just so many analogies you can talk about, you know, like the way we support, whether, you know, if you want to take the support off your shoulders and, you know, get the help you need. So there's just, oh my gosh, give me a scenario, I can probably give you an analogy. It's pretty fun.
I love it. So what's the type of feedback you're getting?
You know, it's really interesting. First of all, really great feedback, and I've had people call and say, I need a second one and a third one. So I'm already having repeat customers, which is really exciting. In fact, for my first batch of orders, I'm out of a number of sizes, so I had to reorder, and so I'm still, it's new. It's a whole new business trying to figure out, you know, what sizing is really the most popular. And you know, I would say most importantly, one of the things that a young gal said to me was, I just can't find any bras that aren't lacy and flowery, and I'm only 15, and I'm like, that is so true. Like, we really need to serve a market where people feel like they've got good foundational garments at any age.
Okay. And why is that important, that, you know, foundational garments or help us, like, with our success or how we feel or just our confidence? Like, why is that so important?
You know, you think it's just a bra. It's just something you put on every day. But it really is a way, for myself, even as a young girl, I was constantly rounding my shoulders. I just didn't want to be seen here. I wanted people to pay attention to what I'm saying, what's coming out of my mouth. And so part of the challenge or the benefit of having a really good foundational garment is it can sometimes minimize assets that you don't necessarily want to be showing off all the time. And so there's a level of confidence that has women stepping into their power a little bit more, like stepping to the front of the room, not being afraid to stand up straight and have their shoulders back, knowing that things are held in, because that's an issue. You don't want to be bending over or, you know, pointing out something and having any wardrobe malfunctions. So it's huge. It's really important.
Good. I've never had that issue. But, I can.
I'm not sure, Judith. You're looking fabulous. So we'll just leave it at that.
Thank you. Okay, so should women like go and get like custom-made bras or buy them, from I don't know, Walmart or whatever those? I'm not really a lingerie person.
That's
so
okay.
Whatever those funny stores are. Yeah.
Well, I think it depends, and there's a lot of women have to go and get custom fits, and that's another challenge, and it's really expensive. You know, I've got a friend of mine who's a 28G, if you can imagine, and so it's like, how do you even like live in like that?
Yeah.
So she's always got to go and get custom fitted bras, and they're anywhere from like 120 is probably the least expensive.
Oh, wow.
180 up to $300. So
Yeah.
having something really that fits is really important. So if you can find something that's local, that's a little bit less expensive, amen, more power to you. But if you can't, then you need to start looking at some specialty shops to make sure that you're feeling really secure and you can put on clothes with confidence and wear all the necklines that you love, like this, right? Who knew that it would be so important to find, to buy all the things off the rack that you want to, all the fun clothes, just because you don't have a foundational garment. So
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, because I know that I've avoided buying certain necklines of like whatever, a dress, or because it's like, oh, I don't have a bra to go with that.
Right.
And it drives me nuts.
How am I gonna wear a bra with this? And so you don't buy it. And how is that such a missing thing in the fashion world? It's like, didn't you think that women are gonna like they need to get together or figure it out? Have a talk. Yeah, have a conversation. So it's really critical.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned a 15-year-old. For young women, when should they go and get fitted, and why?
Oh gosh, I seem to, maybe I don't remember well. I don't know about you looking back, but I just feel like girls are more developed these days. They just feel like really like, right? I mean, some in grade 8, they're like, need to go and get a fitting. I think as soon as you need to wear a bra, you need to go and kind of just figure out what your sizing is. Any local shop will do a good fitting, or if you want to do it at home, just measure under your band and then measure around the widest part, and then count the inches, and the inches is the cup size. So if you're a 28 or a 32, whatever it is, and then you're 3 cups up, that's A, B, C kind of thing, is really just how you figure out your 32C kind of thing is how you just figure it out. So knowing that, you can go to any Winners or anywhere, or you should just check out On the Rack.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's really the issue, right? You have a smaller frame, especially for these young girls. A lot of them, they haven't had kids yet. They're just like skin and muscle. Like, remember those days, right?
Yeah, I remember those days.
And really, you just need something to actually fit. So, yes, check out On the Rack. You can find your sizes there. But really, I really just want anybody to just make sure they're having a good fit. So go wherever you can, wherever you are local, and just get fitted and just try on something that, gives you a little bit of lift. And avoid the uniboob, right? We're not looking for like uniboob and unibrow. Never a good thing together.
The uniboob that you get with sports bras.
Right. Yes. Yeah. In fact, here's something I learned yesterday. I was speaking with a bra designer, and she said she's like, every time she gets into a car and she's not wearing a properly fitted bra, she's very concerned if she gets into an accident. She's like, literally, she's afraid to get decapitated. And I was like, what? It never occurred to me. She said, when the strap doesn't fit between your chest properly, it rides up and you are at a safety risk. I mean, this just gets more and more critical. The more I learn about this, listen, I'm just a girl trying to figure out how to help girls wear the right bra so they can wear more clothes. And the more I dig, the more I learn, the more I'm like, wow, this is really a big issue.
Interesting.
Right?
Never thought of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Do you, so if someone comes to you, will you do like a fitting for them, like measure them?
For sure. We
okay.
have tape measure, we'll travel.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, and you'll travel to people's places.
I do.
Okay.
In the Durham region, yes, I'm doing that for right now. The goal is to get it online so it's accessible for everybody. But for now, local is great.
Good. So, okay, this is a new business. Yeah. What is that like, starting a new business? Like, you feel like you're starting from scratch, but you can probably use a lot of the same strategies that you've used in your other business.
Yes, it is a whole new business, and it's a whole new beast. I've only ever done service-based, so product-based business is very different. There's a whole lot of you have to buy the product first before you can sell it, and then you want to take that money and put it back in, and packaging and all these things. But yes, just learning how to translate those skills from previous experience, and just making sure that people really feel seen, heard, and understood, which is always my goal. I always want people to feel uplifted no matter what. So now it's just physically uplifting them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hike up those straps. So it's good.
So what, when it comes to this business, like what foundations have you brought from your other business into?
Foundations.
Yeah.
See that? Foundations. They're everywhere. The foundational garments. I think I would say obviously a personal touch is really key to any business. Really just understanding your customer, speaking their language, knowing what the problems are. And I think that that's really critical for anybody starting a business is you have to know what the problem is so that you can speak to it with real truth. You can't be like, oh yeah, I know how to, I don't have size 18 feet. I couldn't tell you how to do that, to find shoes, but I know this problem. So I think if you're going to do any business, the number one thing is to figure out what's one problem I can solve that I know to be true, and go after that. And you can bring those foundational skills, because then you tackle and you think of things in a way that makes sense. Like, how do I solve problems? And you bring that problem-solving skill to no matter which business you're doing.
Good. I love it. That's so true. Okay, so as an entrepreneur, how do you stay focused?
Oh, okay. There's a lot of imposter syndrome. I think everybody feels this, but the truth is you just have to stay focused on what do I know and what can I solve today, and to know that even if it's a down day or not a great day, tomorrow's going to be a better day and you're going to feel better about it. Yeah. So you just have to keep going. That's really how I stay focused. Okay, what can I do today? How many bras can I sell? And really the name of the game I discovered is sales is everything. And sales is often just a conversation. So, keep focused, stay positive, get in conversation. And those are the three things I make sure I'm doing every day.
Good. All right. What's one thing that every entrepreneur should know before they start a business?
That you don't have to know everything.
Oh.
Yes.
I like it.
Everyone's like, oh, do you have a business plan? Not even, which I get sounds really crazy. Like, how do you not have a business plan? I'm like, I just know kind of where I want to go. And I think it's okay to learn along the way.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And to know that there are people that are really here to support you.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm learning, actually, coming out to Durham, because in the past it's always been working in Toronto and speaking at big corporations. But when I brought a product-based business to Durham, I feel like people really rallied around me. Yeah, it's like everyone's really, literally, really uplifting. And they're like, okay, meet this girl. And people are saying, are you the girl with the magical bras? And word is spreading. And so I think that that's one of the biggest golden nuggets I've taken away, is that when you really solve a problem for people, they become your speaker, your megaphone for you. And they start telling their friends, and they tell two friends, and so on and so on.
Yeah. So, I love it.
Just do it. Just do it. Take a risk and do it.
That's good. I love it. So, okay, in addition to just do it, what's one piece of advice you have for anyone starting a business?
I would say, and I'd reiterate, just take one problem and solve it. And here's the thing, whatever makes you crazy is probably the problem you're designed to solve. And then you should just lean hard into that. Do what you're good at, follow through, and just keep at it, because eventually you're gonna crack the nut. And it's just gonna have to go. It just does. I think it has to. Momentum causes that.
Well, congratulations on your business. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Steve. It was great to be here.
And thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on another episode of At the Heart of Business.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Think it's okay to drive high? Think again. Drug-impaired driving is as illegal as drunk driving, and in Ontario, the penalties are the same. If police